Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. This is help for Copperpots in his Tier 7 Comet British medium tank. This is like the letdown tank, right? Because the Cromwell comes before it. And the Cromwell is so good at Tier 6, and this is kind of mediocre. I think of all the Tier 7 mediums, this might be the worst. I might even say it's a little bit worse than the T-34-1. I know that's a bold statement. It's a bold statement. I'd said it before we really get started, though, and I get the help going about positioning and things. I'm going to pause it here because we're going to have a little fun with this 1375. Let's just watch. This little sequence is fantastic right here. So 1375 is running around. Get a shot. I'd have auto-aimed him right there. We're kind of trying to do that. He just comes raging in for some reason. There we go, the auto-aim. Nope, we missed. Oh, there he goes. And he's off. He's going to get away. He's just going to jump this little thing. And oh. We ram him to death. Oh, Copperpots. That, unfortunately, and I say this with all the love in my heart, Copperpots, you just peaked. That's as good as this game gets. I had such high hopes for it too, because I didn't really look at it. I just knew you wanted help, and I didn't actually look at the cards at the end. I just started up and started watching. I went, oh, this is going to be interesting. But that was it, guys. It's all downhill from here. All right. So you come at the guy, you tell him he peaked, and it's all downhill. The question is, why and what can you do about it? That's always the question. I like this position. Early on in this tank, in this setup, Tier 7 and a Tier 7 and 8, you can kind of control this middle. Now let's take a look at how we have deployed. Not really well. I mean, it's not bad. At least you're there watching it, and there are a couple guys, the Mutts and the Oni, providing fire support back behind there. You have a good chunk of people in the critical terrain there in that northern brawl zone. A couple guys way up to the north and some TDs in the back. You have a bit of a problem, though, in the south, in that the Tiger and the T-69 are sort of pushing in on that, kind of looking around. So for my money, once you get to this position, the question is, where do I go? Do I work over here to the north, or do I work to the south, or do I work the middle? And that's going to kind of depend on what the enemy team is doing. And it looks like they're pushing a bit down the south. So I really think you needed to flex over that way, flex south, and try to start getting shots for some of these guys back here. Unfortunately, you have that guy, right? A Panzer 58 Mutts. Old Chaplain Chad back there is camping in his Tier 8 top tier tank. That's never good for your team, especially as a medium. And the Oni is back there as well. But get over there and start working on those guys. So now that I've said that, let's just see what Copperpots does here. And it's something I see with players that are trying to learn the game. There's a lot of dithering. And a lot of it is not really sure where to go. Probably thinking I don't want to go south because I'm going to get wasted by a Tiger and a T-69. So I'll just hang out here and maybe something will come around and I can shoot. Then I'm going to go rocking back and forth, and I'm going to look over there, and let's see if we can get a shot. There we go. At least we're looking for a shot. That's good. Maybe the Black Prince will come. All right. I like that. Investigate that. Nothing going. Okay. So nothing going there. Well, oh, maybe he is coming. No, he's not coming. Backing up. Looking. Nope. Now, what's over there? Good job with the check 6. I noticed you do that several times during this game, so that's a good thing. Keep doing that. Kind of look back and see. You can always look at the mini-map and go, ooh, the Tiger and the 69 aren't coming, but I like to visually clear and look back and go, all right, what's going on back there? Sometimes you miss the fact that they're moving around on the mini-map, and a nice picture is worth 1,000 words kind of idea of actually seeing them. We investigate the LTG. We don't really commit on that guy. They're sort of dithering around a little bit more. The T-69 and the Tiger are still down the south. We're going to come up in a dangerous move right here, by the way, because you can't really cross right there without being seen. There's a V in those bushes. Kind of surprised you didn't get seen, and there's nobody behind you. And the LTG was kind of there as well. He's not really gone anywhere. So we come in here and we take a blind shot into a bush, because people say blind shots are good stuff. So we'll just do that. And, oh, something's going on over here. So we'll just kind of back out and we'll wander over here a little bit. And we got a problem, right? We got 3 tanks down here and nobody's really watching them. The Challenger has metaflexed back over, so you got a lot of fire support. Now the trick is to get over here and figure out how to get some hit points out of these guys. So we're going to come raging in, and oopsie, find this guy. I would have aimed at his turret, his side turret there, as opposed to, and you may have been trying to. Sometimes I aim for stuff, I'm trying to aim for stuff, and I hit the wrong place as well. But really, that flat side of the turret was the place to go. And we kind of stay there. I'd have backed immediately out. That thing has pretty good gun depression, and it looks like he wants to come kill you at this point. This is another pretty funny sequence. We get a shot here, and we get, oh, he's going to ram us. Don't let people ram you, especially heavier people. As soon as he looked, whoa, the nuclear explosion. As soon as he looked like he was trying to ram me, I'd have scooted straight down that hill and just ran away from him. You're faster than he is. It would have minimized, even if he touched you, it would have minimized the amount of damage. As it was, he sort of missed, so it wasn't too bad. You got, what, 64 hit points off of you right there. But I think you could have made him miss completely. And as a matter of fact, you could have probably run around the corner there and maybe avoided this whole sequence of him shooting at you. He bounced one shot. He got you twice, bounced one, and maybe missed one, or maybe he was down a shell. That was a bad move on his part. So he didn't have enough shells, or one of the critical ones he needed missed. Plus he had 295, so it wasn't like that last shell that bounced would have killed you anyway. He just makes a really poor decision, and that's actually pretty good, right? I don't think that's how you wanted that sequence to go, but it worked out, and it's a good example of what the fire support back there could have been doing had you been down there earlier trying to work on these guys. So now we're going to watch how you work the guys that are down below, and how you manage your local engagement is very important in this game. So we sort of look, and now we're kind of looking that way, and what's going on, and now we're going to go backwards and forwards, and finally we sort of get in there and start working on. All right. You're driving around in sniper mode, and what this is doing, and I don't know if you meant to be this far back, but you're up against these rocks over here. For my money, I'd be over against the rocks right here for a couple reasons. Number one, I can get close and proxy like these guys and keep them lit and let these guys know where they are for shots, as well as artillery. Number two, I'm further inside of where the arty might be shooting. It's going to be a harder shot as he's coming down this back slope. This is a much easier shot. Thirdly, and at the same time, do not give artillery backstops to land things, because that splash will hit you. That's like a big catcher's mitt back there, right? Or the backboard of a basketball hoop. That just gives them a better shot. If you're up here, it's much harder to hit. And then we're kind of driving up on the soap rocks over here, and we have this really long effort to get out and take a look. So we back up right there. So when you come around that corner, you're just so far out, and this was a way, I mean, you're very lucky you didn't end your game right there. You just come way too far out exposing. And so that's the other reason why being closer to those rocks right there helps, because you can zoom in and then manage the amount of exposure. You really only want to expose to the Panther. It looks like they're all looking that way, which is good. But once they figure out that you're actually poking, then one or two of them is probably going to be watching for you, or at least be ready for you. And when you push down this hard, you're really just asking for it at that point. As a matter of fact, when you're another thing about it is when you're this far out, and it has to do with basic geometry here. When you're this far out, it's going to be harder for you to cover up from these rocks. And that tiger just has to come out a little bit and get a shot. If you're up against the rocks, as you back up, he has to come further and further out to get a shot on you. So there's so many reasons why you want to be close to those rocks and not way out this way. And we back up again. Kind of surprised the M12, but I bet the M12 is busy back here trying to stem the flood over on this other side, although they're winning a little bit. Again, this backstop, you're an easy splash and kill right there. When you are attempting to do the peek-a-boom game, you want to be ready to shoot as soon as you're reloaded, so you need to be in position. Yet another reason to stay in this general area. You can cover up on the rocks, get reloaded, and then zoom out and watch. And when they're either not looking at you or they've fired, ideally both, they fired somebody else, they're not really looking at you, you can come out and start working on that Panther. So all this time dithering, not taking shots. I don't know if you thought you were going to leave. Maybe the LTG got your attention. Now we're driving up on rocks. The Hellcat goes down. We're on rocks again, and we come way wide once again. We're going to push right out and just beg this tiger to shoot us, which he does. Another thing about being near the rocks is you can be a little bit more careful on how much of your hull that you expose. Back way up here. and I'm left thinking, all right, what are we doing? Are we leaving? Are we not? We're not fighting these guys anymore. What's the priority here? I think you were reacting to the LTG. You did a pretty nice job with the auto aim. This is a nice sequence right here. He's a little late recognizing you're on the way, and you take him out. And then here comes the Panther and the Tiger 1. Why? Because they finished your buddies off. Reason number 69 why you wanted to be there and in their face and getting shots is to take some of the heat off these guys. These dudes just sat down there and pummeled your fire support back there. And then once you left and they killed them, here they come. So we get stuck on the rocks, and then I thought, well, this is the end of it. And whoop, no, we fall off, and we actually lived, but we're ammo racked. And we have one shot to give for our country. I might have fixed it. You have a large kit? Just hit 4. Repair it all and start heading up this hill and maybe get away. I mean, you might have. As soon as you came off that hill, dab 4 and make a getaway. I don't know if you'd have made it. If you'd have made it. If you make it. I don't know if you'd have made it, but it would have been a damn sight better than sitting there tracked and waiting for the guys to come around. Never give up kind of idea right there. I think this ends up being a loss. We've got 864 damage, 240 bounce. Initial positioning, I thought it was the right spot. There was a lot of dithering. I love the initial sequence. That was hilarious against 1375. Nicely done on that. We talked a lot about micro positioning within your position on the south. A lot of work to be done right there to make that a bit better. And then a little bit faster decision making. As you are attempting to get better at the game and make faster decisions, you're going to often make bad decisions. Don't worry about that. It's a game, right? This is not real life. So what if you made an aggressive move and died? The only way you learn how that's going to work is to give it a shot and not worry too much about the results as far as if you make a mistake. The problem is people don't want to learn from the mistake, right? They just want to say, well, that never works, or RNG got me, or it's rigged, matchmaker, whatever the case may be. So as you start to watch my videos and try to be a little more aggressive at times, again, don't worry about if you fail on a couple of those. But you will never learn how to do it if you don't give it a shot, if you don't try it. All right? So, for example, the aggressive move on the south, being in the right micro position up against that rock, pressing for shots, but doing it smartly so that you don't take so much return fire or expose yourself so poorly, and maybe get another 2 or 3 shots out of that of damage. And now I'm sitting at 1100, 1200, which is a better game. Maybe I slow those guys down enough. Maybe I give my guys the fire support in the back, the campers. There'll always be campers. Maybe I give them a few more opportunities to take a few more hit points off these guys. It all counts. But the longer I don't shoot or do anything, the more I dither around, that the fight's going on. People are losing hit points. You're losing map control or gaining it, whatever the case may be for your team, and you're not involved. You're just kind of hanging out. The only good thing you're doing at that point is you are maintaining some hit points for trade later if you need to. But you need to be actively trying to get your gun in the game. All right. That's all I've got, man. Thanks for sending that in. That was a good one. I thought there was a lot of good stuff to talk about. That's all I've got. We will see ya.